everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're hurtling into the cutting-edge world of ultra-high-speed rail innovation with China's CR450 prototype, the groundbreaking 8th-generation bullet train that's set to redefine commercial passenger transport as the fastest in the world, clocking operational speeds of 400 kilometers per hour and test velocities up to 450 kilometers per hour. Since its official unveiling on December 29, 2024, this engineering marvel, developed under the China Railway Rolling Stock Corporation, or CRRC, has been pushing the boundaries of speed, efficiency, and sustainability, serving as a flagship of Beijing's ambitions to dominate global rail technology and shrink travel times across vast networks like the Beijing-Shanghai corridor or intercity links in the Yangtze River Delta. If you're a rail enthusiast, a transportation futurist, or just fascinated by the fusion of aerodynamics, lightweight materials, and smart systems that turn ordinary journeys into lightning-fast experiences, you're in for a detailed and exhilarating breakdown. The CR450 isn't merely an evolution of the Fuxing series. It's a sleek 8-car electric multiple-unit powerhouse featuring redesigned integrated bogies, advanced water-cooled magnet traction, and drag-reducing enclosures that slash air resistance by 22%. Enabling it to outpace the current CR400's 350 km/h limit, while carrying up to 580 passengers in enhanced comfort with noise levels reduced by 2 decibels and 4% more interior space. From its inception in 2018 as part of China's 14th five-year plan to achieving Hubei's world record relative passing speeds of 896 km/h during trials, this prototype has undergone over 3,000 simulations and 2,000 platform tests, incorporating carbon fiber composites and aluminum alloys to trim 10% off its weight for superior energy efficiency, 22% better than predecessors, making it ideal for high-density routes where it could slash Beijing to Shanghai's 630-kilometer trip to under 2 hours. We'll dissect its extraordinary performance in granular detail, deliver a comprehensive technical deep dive based on the freshest assessments, unpack its transformative role in China's rail superpower status, toss in some captivating fun facts to amp up the excitement, and cap it off with the hottest updates as of October 20th, 2025, including its track debut for full-speed trials and pathways to commercialization. So, grab your seat, fasten that imaginary seatbelt, and let's accelerate to full throttle for everything you need to know about China's CR450 prototype. The CR450 prototype's capabilities thrust it to the apex of high-speed rail engineering, designed as a multi-scenario powerhouse to conquer existing trunk lines with a deadly combo of velocity, stability, and passenger-centric smarts, letting it slice through urban clusters, bridge megacities, and handle peak hour surges while maintaining pinpoint control via regenerative braking that recaptures energy on descents and AI-driven predictive maintenance to preempt faults before they arise, rivaling aviation efficiency on routes up to 1,000 kilometers, where it turns 4-hour drives into 90-minute sprints. At its heart, this train dominates acceleration and sustained speed, propelled by distributed water-cooled permanent magnet synchronous motors, 1 per axle across 4 powered cars, delivering a staggering power-to-weight ratio that catapults it from standstill to 350 kilometers per hour in just 4 minutes and 40 seconds, outpacing the CR400's 5-minute mark and allowing seamless merges onto busy lines without disrupting flow. Its aerodynamic shell, with a razor-sharp pencil nose, sloped windshields, and fully enclosed bogies, channeling airflow like a Formula One car, minimizes drag coefficients to 0.001, enabling top test speeds of 453 kilometers per hour, while keeping vibrations below 0.5 meters per second, squared for spill-proof coffee during cruises. Stealth in motion comes from radar-absorbent-inspired coatings and serrate pantograph heads that reduce aeroacoustic noise paired with internal energy bays. Think high-capacity lithium-ion packs that store regenerative power for hybrid boosts, sustaining 400 kilometers km/h ops over 800 km hauls with a frontal drag profile slimmer than its predecessors to dodge turbulence from oncoming trains at relative speeds exceeding 800 km/h. The head-end active electronically scanned traction control system, fused with gallium nitride inverters, monitors up to 200 parameters in real time for air gap optimization and surface adhesion up to 150 km/h on wet rails. Integrated with an infrared thermal imaging suite for passive fault detection that spots wheel wear without halting service. For cargo passenger hybrids or peak loads, the CR450 can swap configs for up to 6 modular seating pods or integrate anti-ship-inspired stability fins for maritime adjacent routes, boasting a range exceeding 1,200 kilometers on overhead catenary, extendable to 1,500 with auxiliary packs, empowering launches from coastal hubs to threaten air routes over the Pearl River Delta or Sichuan Basin. Its electronic countermeasures suite, with digital signal jammers for interference-proof comms, can spoof trackside sensors or reroute power during surges, while the core fusion cabin, where the LED engineer interfaces via a panoramic HUD and gesture-activated panels overlays AR route data from a distributed sensor net of 16 cameras for 360-degree threat awareness, enables off-nominal shots like emergency sightings with haptic feedback, letting a single crew juggle dynamic scheduling, air-to-ground signaling tasks, and all while the train's active suspension and relaxed stability hydraulics absorb up to 3G jolts from crosswinds without passenger queasiness. This all-in-one prowess positions the CR450 as a true network accelerator, primed to lead express convoys clearing bottlenecks, escorting regional EMUs for deep integrations, or running solo surveys with its ground-penetrating radar mapping subsoil at 1 centimeter resolution through fog, locking in its spot as the spine of China's transit evolution through the 2040s. To truly admire the CR450 prototype's design wizardry, let's zoom into its technical specs and operational rhythms, as CRRC's blueprint masterfully merges fluid dynamics with electromechanical wizardry, birthing a locomotive that's as nimble as it is needle-nosed, stretching 250 meters end-to-end with a car width of 3.4 meters and height of 3.8 meters for a service weight of 450 metric tons, driven by 16 Shenyang-sourced permanent magnet motors, each churning out 1 megawatt dry and 1.3 megawatts peaked for a thrust-to-mass quotient of 2.5 that fuels vertical pulls on 3% grades and 450 km/h bursts. The fuselage's hybrid weave of aluminum-lithium alloys, carbon fiber reinforced polymers, and glass fiber sandwich panels shaves 10% mass over 7th-gen units while hitting a drag coefficient of 0.001, courtesy of chevron-patterned fairings, diverterless pantograph mounts, and raked end caps scattering airflow wakes, and the adaptive bogie clusters. Integrated monoblocks sweeping from 0 to 15 degrees boost curve negotiation at radius as tight as 4,000 meters, mated to a slab-sided body for supersonic stable glides. Tech highlights include the KLJ8 active power flow array with 1,500 silicon carbide modules for dual traction and regen modes, synced to a distributed sensor web of 16 thermal cams for omnidirectional adhesion tracking up to 200 kilometers. And the Command Nook's curved OLED panorama with voice gestural inputs and AR monocle for off-axis cueing, where the operator cites anomalies by glancing at feeds. Power cars pack 8 high-voltage traction inverters with 200-kilometer range equivalents or 16 auxiliary inverters for station dwells, with side mounts adding up to 4 more for 20 total, including YJ19 stability aids for windy coasts, and the countermeasures pod with waveform synthesizers and deployable chaff mimics foils threats like harmonic surges. In action, the CR450 pulses with poise. The crew powers up from an electrified depot, surges at 250 kilowatts per ton to a merge zone. The array locks alignments at 200 kilometers ahead. The operator cues a regen dump for a 400 km/h pass from the lead car, then dives into a 3G curve, while the sensor net feeds omniscient vigilance for tweaks, all in a 1,000-kilometer service envelope that links Shenzhen to Guangzhou in 20 minutes, cementing it as a tactical titan for corridor conquests in mega metropolises. The CR450 prototype's strategic imprint is seismic in China's mobility renaissance, anchoring the China State Railway Group's 8th-gen armada to clinch velocity supremacy in corridor clashes, especially along the Beijing-Guangzhou spine or Yangtze hubs, where its hypermissiles, or high-thrust vectors, and low-drag hull let it ambush legacy lines from afar, meshing with wayside beacons and drone spotters for chained handoffs that flip capacity shortfalls. As Beijing targets 1,000 CR450 sets by 2035, it fortifies the anti-congestion/area flow doctrine, flanking CR400 expresses or syncing with CR450BF maglev hybrids for omnivector surges, while the dual-cab CR450AF variant amplifies reach to fleet orchestration, directing packs of GJ11 autonomous shuttles for dispersed throughput. Fun fact, the CR450's nose cone yields a turn radius of 500 meters at 300 kilometers per hour, edging the CR400 in sims at mid-speeds. Another zinger, its regen brakes reclaim 30% kinetic energy, stretching missions to 12 hours on sparse CATs. As of October 20th, 2025, the CR450 prototype fleet notched a triumph with its inaugural track trials kicking off just yesterday on October 19th along a secured stretch in Hubei Province, clocking initial laps at 350 km per hour and eyeing full 450 km per hour blasts by November as the China State Railway Group fast-track certification amid booming demand. Merely a week prior, on October 13th, dispatches confirmed the CR450BF sibling prototype nearing dynamic validation, rigged to helm wingman pods like the WZ-9 platoon ops, and on October 6th, official outlets touted the CR450's trailblazing bogey fusion as a planetary prime, with Expo unveilings slated for the Zhuhai Airshow tie-in to rally spirits and signal supremacy. Hurdles like inverter heat in monsoons linger, but with prototypes logging over 500 test hours and alliances eyed for belt and road partners like Indonesia, the CR450 is railroading China's throne as a velocity vanguard. The CRRC CR450 prototype is a streamlined sentinel of China's transit triumphs, melding velocity, vim, and viability to blitz the boulevards. What's your take on the CR450? Awed by its 450 km per hour test tears, buzzing for the BF maglev mashup, or pondering its 9th-gen levitating kin? Drop your takes in the comments below, smack that like if it rocketed for you, pass it to your rail posse, and if you haven't yet, smash subscribe for more plunges into the ride's reshaping worldly ways. Cheers for riding along, and catch you on the next departure.